Hey, Ed from Precision Gun Reviews, and today I'm back with a review of the Beretta 92X Compact. Now, this is an update of the classic Beretta 92 design, sort of upgraded for modern carry and use. This is a double single action aluminum framed double stack 9mm pistol, and it is hammer fired. Let's get into it. So it is 7.75 inches long to the beaver tail. It is measured by Beretta at 5.25 inches tall. However, I measured the rear from the back of the magazine base plate to the top of the sights at around 5.1, and from this sort of pinky extension to the top of the sights at around 5.5 inches. The width, likewise, is measured at 1.5 inches by Beretta. I took that measurement and found that exact measurement at the safety decocker levers, and found a 1.4 inch measurement at the grip here, and a 1.1 inch measurement at the slide width being 1.1 inches. As for weight, I measured the gun at 28 ounces without a magazine. With the magazine, 31.3 ounces unloaded. Speaking of that magazine, we said it's a double stack. It carries 13 rounds in the mag. It has witness holes every so often, not for every round, not on the sides, just on the back. It's a good quality mag. It has this black follower. It has a good spring in there. It's got this matte finish, and it feeds very well. And talking about the mag, we have this mag well that is beveled for faster reloads. Also, speaking of the magazine, we have a nice metal and nicely checkered magazine release that works very well. Drops the mags freely. Easy to reach, easy to activate. I like that mag release. That's one of the noted enhancements on the Beretta 92X. The gun does come with a Picatinny rail available with 3 slots, not on this example, obviously. It can come like this, but you can add the 3-slot Picatinny rail. It does, being a double single action, it does have this slide mounted safety decocker. So here we can make sure that it's unloaded. We have our hammer back, and if we pull down on this safety decocker, it drops the hammer safely and remains on safe. There's another version that when activated, this automatically pops up. So we would be here, it would go like that, and this would go back up automatically. That's that safety decocker lever. Safe, not safe, with this red to show not safe. And we have same thing on the other side, just interestingly they do a different design on the right side. The lever is shaped differently on either side of the gun. Interesting. I don't know exactly why they chose to do that, but they did. Talking about other controls, we have this nice slide release and slide lock lever. It's very easy to activate, and the slide comes home on that. Here we have our takedown lever. We'll get to that later. Looking up at the slide, well, let's start with these sights. We have dovetailed, let's take a look. We have a dovetailed front sight, very nice. These are metal sights, I believe they're steel. And we have a blacked out and serrated rear sight for a nice daytime sight picture. There's sort of your sight picture. Looking at that front sight, coming back to the rear sight. Nice sights, really good. Obviously, not so great for in low light. They're not night sights, but for daylight, they are incredible. This is a wonderful sight picture. Let's look up again here. And being that they're dovetailed in like this, it gives you a lot of flexibility to change them if you'd like. Good sights. And another thing to note is this does have this sort of flat front shelf here for racking the slide on a hard surface. And I should mention, I'll mention these slide serrations first. These are not the greatest slide serrations. You can grab them, they're fine, but they're very shallow and narrow. However, this slide design, this whole gun design, this whole function makes it very easy to rack the slide on the Beretta 92X. It's one of the easier guns to rack, which I've been taking note of lately. And if you're not familiar with the Beretta 92, you'll see something interesting compared to a lot of firearm designs. You have an exposed barrel. That's the barrel. It stays in line as the slide reciprocates, and it's exposed here. But that is intended to make for very few malfunctions, because it's very hard to get a case jammed up in there if it has the entire top of the gun to make its way out of. And I found that to be the case as far as failures to eject, 0. We'll get to that a little bit later. But that's roughly everything on the outside as far as controls. As far as ergonomics goes, the Beretta 92 is known to have sort of a bulky grip, and that's true of the classic design. But here we have the Vertex grip. So the difference here is that previously the grip was a little bit more bulbous and had a hump in the back, whereas this has a straight back strap, and it's an exposed, it's the frame that's exposed here. It's not covered by the grip panels. And here you have checkered back strap, checkered front strap, and a really nice texturing on the grip panels themselves. And that means that it is a really solid grip as far as these contact points are concerned. It does, just because of the design of the pistol, it does leave a sort of small amount of space in the front of the grip, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. But first I want to show you that this 92X does come with an option here to revert back to sort of the closer to the classic Beretta 92 grip shape and size. This panel can replace these two and slide on there and give you a sort of wrap around grip, just like if you're used to the Beretta 92, what you're used to. Now, coming back to that grip, there's something about this grip. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but it was getting to me. And I think it's in the compact model, this curve, see how it curves forward and then continues to curve forward on the extended pinky portion of this magazine. This kind of pushes your pinky forward and gives the grip an interesting feeling that I wasn't a huge fan of. So personally, if I were to pick one of these up, I would probably lean toward getting the Centurion model, which has a little bit more of an extended grip, and therefore this slope forward doesn't do it as much. As far as gripping the gun otherwise, I like the fact that the Vertex grip lets me get my hand around it a little bit better than the classic 92 grip. The trigger guard is pretty large, so you can get a gloved finger in there. If you have really big fingers, no worries. But it is bulky, so that's something to note. And people who don't like this sloped front of a trigger guard and would prefer to have a flat trigger guard to put their finger up might be disappointed. Although, if you do shoot like that, you can get your finger on there. It's not terrible. I don't shoot like that, so it might not bother me as much. At this point, we can move on to field strip, disassembly. You're just going to take the mag out, of course, and ensure that the gun is unloaded to safely disassemble the gun. Then we have a button here, so you're going to push that. Okay, then I'm just going to turn this around while still holding that. I pull that down and off comes the slide. It's incredibly simple. Okay, then you have your components just like that. The slide, we'll continue to look at the slide. We have a recoil spring that is not captive, and this is a heavy steel guide rod on that recoil spring. And inside we have our barrel, which I don't know if I mentioned, this is a 4.25 inch barrel, and it's a little different. Let's put this down. This has a locking block on it, and this is a Gen 3 design of the locking block by Beretta. These have been updated over the years due to certain issues that they had in older models, but this one has been fixed. So the barrel always stays flat, and this locking block allows the slide to reciprocate. Talking about the barrel a little bit more, we do have a very deeply recessed barrel crown here to protect the rifling at the end of the barrel. That's really pretty extreme, honestly, but I like it. That's great. Here's our small feed ramp, because these are, again, designed such that the magazine sits very high and close to this barrel, so because the barrel doesn't need to do all this tilting, that bullet is just going straight in. That cartridge is going straight in, excuse me. Looking at the slide, there's not much going on. You see right through it, obviously. But it's a very, very clean design in there. It's a hammer-fired gun, so we have our firing pin here. And here's something, if you're not familiar with the way that Beretta's safety mechanisms work, is that's what the hammer is striking, and when this goes down, that's why the hammer can drop. It lands on the slide, not on the firing pin sort of transfer, and then it remains in safe. Looking at the frame, we see very robust slide rails. This is an aluminum alloy frame, so I'm assuming these are aluminum alloy, and they are super thick, very strong, very robust, very nice. Our hammers here. This is part of the updated fire control unit, meaning that this trigger is enhanced compared to previous models of the Beretta 92. So if we put this back together, we can take a look at that trigger. I know I normally do that first, but today is a special day. I did it different. Alright, we put this in here, and we insert our spring there. We don't push the barrel forward when we do it. Put that back, and then simply slide, and there it is. And that is back together. Nice. Okay, so the trigger. I have this set up so I can get really up to the screen here. Here we go. This is a metal trigger. Nice flat face, no dingus, no flex in it really. And what we have here is a double action pull. Okay, I made that look more jumpy than it is. It's pretty smooth. It begins with a trigger reach of about 2.89 inches out here from the back of the backstrap to the front of the trigger, and the break point on the double action is about 2.38 inches. So there's our double action. As far as single action goes, let's take a look at this reset first. Audible, tactile, just a little bit beyond the wall here. The trigger reach for this one is 2.55 inches, and again breaks that same sort of 2.38. This is just take up, it's very light, and breaks almost instantly from that point. That wall is very clean and crisp and very light. Looking again. Really nice. Back out to double action. I'm going to talk about this now. So as we pull through here, it's got all the weight of the trigger this whole way, and you heard that click. That puts it into a sort of half cock mode. So without that, the hammer rests here. But when we get to that first click, half cock, continuing, same weight, same pressure, all the way through, right to there. So this is a pretty good, fairly light for a double action trigger, very smooth, just like a nice Smith & Wesson revolver. And of course, single action is beautiful. Very good trigger, and you can see that in my shooting video. It puts rounds very close to one another on paper. So very accurate gun thanks to this trigger, and you know, it's got a pretty decent sight radius. The sight radius is about 5.75 inches. Not to mention the sight picture is very good. So overall, an incredibly accurate firearm. Those things all combine with this barrel that remains in line and a minimal felt recoil impulse. So this is a shooter's gun, and I would say it's a marksman's gun if I had to, especially in this single action configuration like that. So your second through your 14th shot is going to be just spot on like that. Bam. Very good, very accurate, really a pleasure to shoot. After shooting it, I was just excited to continue shooting it more. Just really cool. Really good to look at those results. All right, so as far as reliability goes, which is probably more important in a firearm, you know, as a personal defense weapon, 100% reliable. Really just so reliable. Let me just show you what I was going to talk about earlier. Something about this Beretta 92 design, if I had some snap caps it would help, but I don't. So you see how high up this magazine is. It's really way up there. So if there's a round sitting right there, it's basically directly in line with the barrel. So that eliminating really much of a chance at all for failures to feed, and then this whole open slide design, this whole mechanism here really eliminates your failures to eject. So you have a pistol that's going to function and run really well. The drawback of an open slide design like this is don't drop it in the sand or you have sand all in your gun. Theoretically you could rinse it in water and it'll all come out. In any case, reliable, accurate, ergonomic, all nicely upgraded as far as the different components are concerned. Fantastic firearm. This one is the compact model. The Centurion is the same length as this, slightly longer, almost as tall here as the full size, and gives you a little bit more grip here on the front strap, which I think is ideal. If I had to pick one, I would go with the Centurion. The full size is longer yet again here at the barrel and the muzzle, the whole slide, and just ever so slightly longer than the Centurion in the grip. And the pricing for the one we're looking at here, this is an $800 MSRP without the Picatinny rail. I see it online at $600. With the Picatinny rail, it's a $899 MSRP, and I was seeing it online. Again, this is May 2020, and I was seeing the railed model online at around $700. But overall, this Beretta 92X, this is really a fine pistol and really a culmination of a lot of design elements and a really long history of enhancements and refinements to the Beretta 92 design. I'm not like an old-time Beretta 92 guy, but I can see why you would be. Oh, here, looking here, I didn't mention we have this hammer is also nicely serrated on the metal there. Just a note. But really, just a really nice firearm overall. Again, I think the Centurion's the way to go. Based on my hand size. I have large-ish hands, not the biggest. If you do have the biggest hands in the world, then I would say definitely go for the little bigger size. But for even my size hands, I think a little bit bigger would be better. In any case, that's why they have options. That's the whole point. They design the line to be appropriate for anyone who wants to use it, any size person, any size hands, for any real use, from concealment up to, go to war. And I recommend it. Great firearm. I'm Ed from Precision Gun Reviews, as always. Thanks for watching, and until next time, you guys stay safe out there.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out and thanks to the gun store of Conway, South Carolina. They help us transfer in all of our firearms for review. And you should check out the gun store at scgunstore.com. They are a full-service guns and gear shop with an indoor range. They stock a wide selection of handguns, shotguns, suppressors, NFA items, tactical rifles, hunting rifles, and gear. They are fully stocked with all calibers of ammunition. They have gun safes, holsters, magazines. They do gunsmithing on site if you happen to be in the Conway, South Carolina area. Additionally, they hold training courses for those in the area. And they also offer a fully automatic experience in their gun range with an AR-15 or a Thompson 45 Tommy gun. They've got knives, they've got used firearms, parts, accessories, really just about anything you could think of related to firearms, home, and personal defense. I recommend you take a trip over to scgunstore.com, and no matter where you are, go to shop.scgunstore.com, where you can shop their inventory online and have it delivered right to your local FFL. That's the gun store of Conway, South Carolina. Thanks for making all the reviews that you see here on PGR possible.